Good morning, everyone. Want to call our meeting to order and welcome everybody. Hope you all had a nice weekend. Today is April 20th. We're here for our County Board of Supervisor meetings and ask Carrie Schwab to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Do we have anybody online today? Okay. Can we get a motion to approve our minutes of our regular meeting and work session held on April 6, 2026?
Yeah, so moved.
And I'll second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Can we get a motion to approve our demands and handwritten warrants?
Chairman, Mac, I'll be glad to make that motion. I would note, though, that there's an invoice summary for expenditures above $1,000, 30 or 40 items, and I would note that the total was $1,184,000, but three of those were like health insurance and safety personnel, retirement plan. And so the reason I bring this up is that we've got three expenditures for Central Park construction and improvements at the fairgrounds, and also a dump trailer for planning and zoning. And those total just a little over $100,000. So our discretionary expenditure is about 10% and I would report that just because it's we just show that we're fiscally conservative and watching every penny. So I would make a motion that we approve the demands and handwritten warrants on the county.
I'll second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll now turn the time over to TJ with our Sheriff's Department. Good morning and thank you for being here today.
Good morning. So for the jail, we're just asking for the approval to use $6,234, which covers the replacement for a PTC camera, which is an exterior camera that keeps an eye on staff as they escort inmates in and out. So inmates that are getting released from the facility, that camera views them all the way across to through the parking lot. Also with commitment orders, it keeps a view where the control officer can watch them as they escort individuals into the jail. So we're just asking for the approval for those funds.
Okay. Any questions or concerns?
None here.
I did have one, Commander, and that is I noted in the paperwork in the packet that the camera is 7 years old and that it was broken. And is there any residual value for? I think it's 9 years old. Is there any residual value? You know, when you say broken, is it the mount? Is it the camera itself? And does it have any? Is that something that can be reused, or is it pretty much served its useful life?
It is served its full life. There was a 3-year warranty on it, but it's expired. But it's the camera itself is gone. The amount is fine. It's just the camera.
Okay.
That went down.
Okay.
So they would just be replacing the camera.
Wasn't vandalism? It's just wear and tear.
Just wore out.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. I would go ahead and make the motion to approve the purchase of this perimeter camera for our detention center.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Mr. Bennett couldn't be here today, so Manager Welker is going to fill in for him.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This request is to approve $30,000 from our opioid settlement funds to Graham County Substance Abuse Coalition. I know the board is well aware, but for those that may not be, we as, along with all the other counties in Arizona, we're part of the opioid settlement agreement litigation. This has currently brought around $600,000 in funding to the county. These funds are very, very restrictive. They're earmarked for rehabilitation and recovery programs and things that can go to the support of those that have been affected by opioids. So this doesn't necessarily have to come to the board, but I know County Attorney Bennett really wanted to bring it to the board and have you agreeable with the request. So of those funds, he is requesting $300,000 go to the Substance Abuse Coalition.
That's 30,000, isn't it?
30,000.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry. Did I say 300?
They're going to fall out of their
I'm sure they
shoes.
would take 300. Sorry about that. 30,000.
Getting all excited.
And this would go towards their comprehensive recovery, wellness, and reentry support initiative.
Questions or concerns? Anything that you want to add?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I was going through the packet, and the requests are all, I would say that they're all very reasonable. They're targeted for 6 different parts of their recovery, wellness, and reentry program, which has been really successful. And but I would note that there is a part of that process called which actually gets people, transports people into treatment, into the different programs, the rehab, and that was not included. And I just don't, I think that they were conservative in their request, and so I'd like the board to consider, it's called the Recovery Angels. And I would, if I might, ask that Kristen, who runs that program, come and talk about that. And the reason that I wanted to propose this is to look for a little additional funding, if you are in agreement to take care of this. And so, Kristen, could you come up and share? Thanks. I know this wasn't okay.
Recovery Angels is something that we do at the coalition that we don't have any funding for right now. When somebody is in need of rehab and they reach out to us, we're all peer support. I'm a recovery support. We have a team of recovery support specialists and peer support that if the hospital calls, we'll go down to the hospital, we'll meet with somebody. The idea is to try to get them into rehab or treatment rather than them just leaving the hospital and end up back in there. Or we also pick people up from jail, work with probation. This funding would cover the cost of gas. We have insurance on our vehicles. We have volunteers that do this. We really need to keep this program running. We're also able to take people to mental health treatment and stuff like that. But the Recovery Angels, there's a group of us, and it allows us to not only visit people where they're at, but also get them into rehabs. We have made a lot of connections with rehabs here, and we know who to call and where to place them. And yeah, we haven't really had a good stream of funding for that. So this would be really a great benefit to us to keep Recovery Angels going, and maybe even bring on some more volunteers and be able to push this out more to where we can have more people involved in Recovery Angels. Right now, it's just a group of 4 or 5 of us, and we're always looking for people in the community that would like to volunteer to ride along on these. We always make sure there's 2 people. So, and one of us is recovery support certified, so we are able to, not counsel them, but reassure them. Most of us have some lived experience in that. So, but we always like to have another person along. So if anybody ever wants to volunteer, or you can get into contact with me or Kathy at the Substance Abuse Coalition.
Great. Thank you.
No, I've known about this program for a long time. I've seen it work. It's been very, very successful, very valuable. Funding was always the problem, and volunteers was always the problem. But I just want to say I'm in full support of it, and I appreciate the Substance Abuse Coalition for all the work you guys do. Kristen, I follow you extensively. The work you do in the prisons and our reentry program has just been invaluable and successful is the main thing, is successful. So thank you both for all the work you do. Appreciate it very much.
I would add, Mr. Chairman, and in visiting with Kathy, she indicated that she didn't have a hard figure, but she estimated between $6,000 and $7,000 is what if that was earmarked specifically for that program, any amount, but $6,000 or $7,000 is what it generally costs, what they expend in a year's time. So I'm open to any financial support if someone wanted to suggest a figure.
Yeah, Dustin, can we do that without it being on the agenda today, or was that something we have to do differently?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I think because we are discussing the Substance Abuse Coalition and the 30,000, 30,000 is what is on the agenda, but I believe you could increase that, and
Okay.
as long as it's still going to the Substance Abuse Coalition, just program within it, I think that's more than appropriate.
I suggest that we earmark 10,000 for the way things are right now, price of gas, travel, insurances, and everything else. I think 10,000 earmarked for that program is very reasonable.
Mr. Chairman, just to be clear, are you saying 10,000 within the 30,000, or are you saying 40,000, 30,000 plus?
40,000.
Okay, just want to make sure that's clear in a motion if that's where it's headed.
Yeah, I would suggest 40,000.
That's very generous. Thank you for considering that and acting on it.
I agree.
Did you have any?
It's just a great program, and I'm excited to earmark some funding for that, and appreciate what you do. You guys work for a great cause. Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make a motion to allocate $40,000 to the Substance Abuse Coalition, and earmarking 10,000 of that 40 for the Recovering Angels. Yeah.
Oh, and I'm pleased to second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. You bet. Thank you. Next, hear from Cindy Orr with our Treasurer's Office. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman Mack and members of the board and Manager Welker. I'm pleased to present an offer for an over-the-counter tax deed on parcel 109-78019. This is a cleanup item that will actually be able to be combined with the larger parcel and kind of help going forward.
Great.
And I should mention that the offer includes all the required amounts to cover taxes, fees, and foreclosure costs.
Great. Thank you. And we appreciate you cleaning those up for us for sure. Do we have any questions?
Just thank you once again. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the tax deed sale for parcel 109-78019.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. We'll now hear from Eric Engel with our engineering department. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning. We're looking for approval of a contract consulting agreement with Payson Wright for engineering technician services. So Payson, this is kind of like an internship. Payson's a EAC student. And as you know, we have a lot of big projects going on right now, and that will be starting. And I think he'd be valuable for some QA, QC, and he has experience surveying and engineering too, so.
Great.
We're very busy right now, and I'm sure you could use the help out there, so I have no issue with this.
And the contract agreement, we don't have to pay benefits or pension or anything else, so that's a very economical way to go, and I'm glad you've got the connections to find this valuable help. So I'd make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we approve a contract consulting agreement with Payson Wright for engineering technical services for our engineering department.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Eric. Next up, we'll hear from Brian Douglas with our Health Department. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Manager Welker, Chairman Mack, and the board. I have 3 items for you this morning. The first item is we're requesting approval for Shanna Maston and John Nicholas, who are our part-time teen pregnancy and prevention staff, for out-of-state travel to attend the Innovative Schools Summit in Las Vegas, Nevada from July 6th to July 8th. All of their travel expenses, food, everything, flights are covered. The TPP program will only pay for their time to attend the conference.
Okay. Questions?
Questions other than that's the best place they could go for pregnancy prevention is Las Vegas.
Yeah, and you ought to get great rates in the middle of July in Vegas.
Sorry about that.
We have a motion.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the out-of-state travel for Shannon Mastis and John Nicholson to Vegas for the TPP.
And I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thanks. Our second item is we are requesting permission to approve a Greenlee County epidemiology agreement to utilize their epidemiologist, Dr. Matt Bollinger, to a 5-year contract.
Is he really an MD or is he a PhD?
He's an MD.
He's an MD. Mm-hmm. Amazing. So we're getting an MD for not much money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's superb. He served well, even though it was a very controversial time. He gave us the very best of information and guidance that was available during COVID, and I like his work and the fact that he has very friendly. In fact, I think he spends a part of a day a week here, doesn't he?
He does.
So yeah, there's lots of things to like about this, and so I think it's that if we can lock in a 5-year agreement with someone of his expertise, I would heartily approve it. I'll go ahead and make a motion then that we support the health department and approve the epidemiology agreement with Dr. Matt Bollinger.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. And our last agenda item is we are requesting permission to approve an amendment to Josh Benson's detention medical service agreement, if approved retroactively from April 1st, beginning of this month, to June 30th. And a little bit of background on this is the amendment. This amendment increases Josh's monthly rate from $6,500 to $7,175. And this change is due to a $5,400 boost in liability insurance that was unforeseen when the agreement was signed last year. This premium raise is too large for Josh to absorb and would like to pass the increase through the amended contract agreement. And recently, medical liability insurance companies for providers no longer allow their main clinical liability insurance to cover detention medical service. So in turn, this dramatically increases their premium costs.
Okay. Questions?
Questions here?
Concerns?
Chairman, I would just note that Mr. Benson I haven't had a chance to review his work, but from what I hear from our health department director, that he is valuable and has served us well in the past. I don't know if we can, every time that there's an increase, that we can absorb it, but I certainly, this sounds reasonable, and as long as we can, I'd like to continue to make his services here available. So I'd go ahead and move to approve, but with the caveat that I don't know that it'll be case by case in the future, because it's just like our health insurance. We have to look carefully and pick and choose for our own employees, and so that's my motion.
Okay.
I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Brian, and
Thank you.
want to thank Dr. Bollinger and Mr. Benson for their services that they provide for our county. Next up, we'll have Steve Puzis, with our Highway Department.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I don't need to go to Las Vegas, so I'm good. Here this morning to approval to ratify a price increase above budget on a 25-26 budget capital purchase for a new 10-wheel dump truck. We have to get quotes so early and prices go up and down, and it seems like a lot, but it's minimal for this truck, so that's where we're at.
Price increases happen.
Yeah.
$16,000 is I think what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And this comes out of our highway department funds, so it's not general funds, and that's just our new reality. So it just happened, that's all.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve and ratify the price increase for the 10-wheel dump truck.
And I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Steve. Next, we'll hear from Julie Rodriguez with the Board of Supervisors. Good morning.
Good morning. I have two items this morning. These are annual items we do about this time every year. The first one, I'm requesting approval of Resolution 2026-01, naming myself as the Chief Fiscal Officer, which is kind of just interesting. I'm a Chief Financial Officer, but now I have to officially be a Fiscal Officer. But it relates specifically to the 2027 Annual Expenditure Limitation Report, and this is required by the Office of the Auditor General that this designation be made every year.
Are you sure you want this job?
I couldn't find anyone else.
Yes, she does.
Usually titles
yes,
come with a salary increase, but I didn't see anywhere where there's going to be an increase.
No.
I just want to publicly thank Julie for the hard work she does for this county. She works relentlessly to get things done on time and correctly, and nothing gets by her. So she's an excellent officer, and I support her 100%. So I would go ahead and make a motion for this as written.
I'll second it and note that she's got a great support staff. Brandon is, we appreciate your work and your help. She's a different person than she was a couple years ago.
Do you want to explain that? Thank you. Motion passes and
Okay.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes, and yes, thank you, Julie. We appreciate you and all you do. You're definitely a great blessing for our county.
Thank you. My second request is approval of the Graham County policy for public safety personnel retirement system pension funding policy for 2027. This is also an annual requirement. We had 30 years to pay down our unfunded liability, and we are now at a time where in 2027 we'll have 21 years left. We thought we had it tackled, but you know, it's a moving target. They did move the goalpost, but in addition to that, we've gone from fully funded to back to a little bit unfunded. So we have just sent a payment in of the monies that we budgeted from general fund for $150,000, but also about $49,000 in Prop 207 marijuana funds that we've sent in. So almost $200,000 we're sending in again this year. And we won't see the effect of that probably for a couple of years. It takes, by the time it gets into the numbers and then gets into the actuarial report the following year, it takes a while to see those increases. But the policy basically states that we will pay what we're required to pay every year, and we'll make efforts to pay additional amounts if the board determines that necessary.
Great. Thank you.
This is such a complicated policy for me to follow, but you know, it's state mandated, so we have to do what we have to do.
And we do all we can to contain costs at the legislature.
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the PSPRS policy, retirement funding.
And I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Next, we will hear from Manager Welker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This first item is Resolution 2026-2, a resolution of the Graham County Board of Supervisors adopting a fair housing policy. This resolution came from SEGO, Southeastern Arizona Government Organizations. As you know, there are our local COG, our federal government arm, and we receive different funding from them, such as the CDBG funds and other funding and support. And to be able to pull down some of those funds, this is one of the requirements that each year we pass this resolution for fair housing. So unless the board wishes, I'll just read it by title, or would you like me to read the whole thing?
No, that's fine.
The title says, a resolution of the Graham County, Arizona Board of Supervisors adopting a fair housing policy, making known its commitment to the principle of fair housing and describing actions it shall undertake to affirmatively further fair housing. So Graham County is committed to fair housing, and we do pull down a lot of HUD money, which is directly related to this. So it is critical that we maintain that policy in this resolution.
Great. Thank you, Manager. Questions or concerns?
No.
I move that we approve the fair housing policy resolution for Graham County as read and proposed.
I second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, it's been 16 months. Every 16 months, we rotate our chairman and vice chairman. For as long as I've been here and way before that, it has just been on a rotation policy, I guess, procedure. And Chairman Mack, I can't believe it's been 16 months, but it has. And thank you for your leadership, and you're timed out. So it's time
That's
to...
great. That is great. Thank you.
I'd just like to say that Chairman Mack, you've done an outstanding job. It's been a pleasure working with you. I love how you run the meetings. You've grown immensely. I appreciate everything you've done for us and your representation. But at this time, I would go ahead and make a motion to appoint Supervisor Vice Chairman Paul David to begin chairmanship on May 4th, 2026.
I'll second the motion for the appointment.
Thank you, Chairman. I just would add to Supervisor Howard's comments that not only have you grown, but there are facets and parts of your personality that I hadn't seen before. And you do a good job at conflict resolution. You're fair. You have the public trust. I think a lot of that was you benefited greatly from your good father and mother and their skills in the community, and so I have learned a lot and will utilize a lot of your methods you brought to our board, the actually voting rather than just having a motion and a unanimous motion, and I appreciate that. That formalizes our vote. So I thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate the kind words and grateful for the opportunity that I've had to serve as the chairman, and always appreciate the great people that I serve with. I've always said our county is super blessed for the people that we have, and not just our elected officials, but our department heads. Our county is very blessed to have the people that we have. So thank you for that opportunity. So the motion has been made to appoint Vice Chairman David. Do we need to appoint a Vice Chairman as well?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, you can do it all in one motion, or you can make two separate motions. So it's up to you. Right now, there's one motion on the table for Supervisor Paul David for Chairman.
Okay.
Could I suggest a friendly amendment that we the motion include, because of the rotation, that we have Supervisor Howard become the Vice Chairman? Would you accept that friendly amendment?
Absolutely.
Great. All right. So a motion has been presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
This next item, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, is to approve an agreement with MutualLink to provide ongoing services for Graham County's interoperability and school safety program. I believe this first started in 2022. The state appropriated money to most of the counties. Not every county took it, but I think 13 out of the 15 counties did, to provide panic buttons in all of the public schools that are connected to our dispatch. So if there is an incident like a live shooter or something to that degree, this panic button can be pushed in the schools, which at that time connects the school's camera to our dispatch camera, as well as our leadership. The officers that are in leadership have apps on their phone that they can also then view the school cameras when that incident is initiated. It took about 2 years for MutualLink to get this equipment installed in our dispatch center and in our schools. It took about another year to get it all up and going and trained. As you're aware, we had kind of a dark period for 6 to 8 months where MutualLink wasn't all that responsive, and it didn't look like it maybe would keep going, but that did bounce back as of last November. They've really turned it around, and as of last week, I verified with dispatch that MutualLink is still very much responsive, and it is working in each of our public schools that have chosen to be a part of the program. This money is 100% funded through the state. There is no general fund or local dollars that go towards it. It is a true appropriation. And because we had to work through some of these kinks, this would be retroactive back to January 1st. And these funds would get us through December 31st. As you are well aware, there's a lot of discussions at the Capitol with our legislators trying to decide if this should go forward. But that will be yet to be seen as the budget unfolds to us. So we're not sure what the future of this program is, but this contract would get us to December 31st.
Questions, concerns?
Chairman, I do have a question for our manager, and that is, it's this proprietary system, so it's not like if MutualLink raises their rates by 20% next year, we either have to abandon all the hardware and software or go along, assuming that the state no longer funds it. But we do have that option if the state doesn't fund. To go ahead and underwrite those costs in that hopefully unlikely event.
Mr. Chairman, Vice Chairman David, you're absolutely right. It is proprietary equipment, and if the state stops funding it, then we will have some big conversations with other local agencies, with the schools, and see how that could be funded going forward if we all choose to go forward. So.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the agreement with MutualLink to provide ongoing services for the county's school safety system.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next, we will take this opportunity for members of the board and the county manager to present a brief summary of current events, and we will start with Manager Welker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll save some of my updates for our work session, of course, but first I just want to let all the department heads and elected officials just a reminder, our budget hearings with the Board of Supervisors is coming up. Our first one at the Superior Court is on May 5th. And then from May 11th to the 13th, we'll be meeting with every other department head and elected official. I just want to thank them already. There's already been a tremendous amount of work done in every department, meeting with Julie in finance, going over their budgets and especially the big ticket items if there's purchases coming up or projects. We've been working through those, getting bids, getting quotes, and trying to get everything ready for the board. So just a reminder to elected officials and department heads to have those ready to go. If you're missing anything, with Julie to get those to her as soon as possible. And thank you already for all your hard work. Over in our ag building at the fairgrounds, we were able to complete our electrical upgrade project. We added 2 more of those large fans in there, so now we have 4 very large fans in the ag building on that east end, which they look great. The electrician did a great job. He also swapped out all of those old halogen lights with LEDs, and it has made a remarkable difference if you haven't been in there already. Starting on May 11th, we'll have our insulator contractor go in there and spray foam the ceiling, and really look forward to a much cooler building come fair and all the other activities that are used in that facility. It gets used quite a bit. Big buck contest, battle of the bands, and all kinds of weddings and receptions and baby showers and everything else. So it'll only get used more now. So we want to thank the board for instigating that project. Thank you. Over in Central, our Central Park project is going very well. All the concrete over there has been poured. The large gazebo's been erected. I believe we'll get an update from Eric in our work session, but I think they're working on the parking lot here soon, and that's moving along quite well. At our next meeting on May 4th, we'll open our CDBG project bids for all the sidewalks at the fairgrounds. Our Main Street building remodel for the county attorney's office. They were painting last week, so they'll be doing flooring here shortly and putting all the electrical HVAC and sprinkler system trim in, so that's coming up. I also wanted to point out over at the upper ponds, as you know, we drained that pond, we deepened it, or at least half of it, and we approached City of Safford. I just want to express my gratitude, how willing they were to help us. They installed the line that will eventually pump out of that upper pond. We wanted to do it while it was drained, make it significantly easier and less expensive to do now rather than fill it back up and have a contractor do it later. Eric was able to get the large filter, and it is very large, that goes on the bottom of that pond, and Safford hooked that up to their 6-inch or 8-inch water line, Eric? 8-inch water line, and now it's stubbed out. They're on the east end of the pond, ready for an eventual contractor to install the cabinet and pump that'll eventually hook up to that. So big kudos and thank you to City of Safford for their partnership on that. Lastly, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize this as Steve McGoy's last Board of Supervisors meeting. So he will be retiring here in 11 days, 10 days? 10 days, you know, Steve, come on. So this is officially his last meeting. He has to put up with the rest of us, but I just want to thank Steve. He has had an amazing career with Graham County. His work ethic is beyond reproach. We're going to miss his elephant of a memory. He seems to remember where everything is hidden and everything that's been done for the last 50, 60, 80 years. And I don't think there's one person in Safford and maybe all of Graham County that he doesn't know, or at least has heard of. And we're going to sorely miss his skills, his personality, and everything he's done for the city of Safford, or I don't know why I keep saying city of Safford, Graham County. Steve, it's been a pleasure working with you, and congratulations on your retirement.
All right. Thank you, Manager Welker. Vice Chairman David.
Thanks. Busy couple of weeks. Tuesday, the 7th of April, following the Easter weekend, there was attended a webinar, Coalition for Protecting Arizona's Lifeline. It's about funding. And then later that afternoon, Rural Transportation Advisory Council, we met remotely so that we could visit about a letter which we're sending to the legislature and the governor to continue to extend and to try to improve the highway users revenue funds for our counties as well as the state and the municipalities, and that's how we get funding for our highway department. And that's critical. There had been some talk about gas holidays, gas tax holidays, and that was a real concern, and that's basically what the letter addressed, is that we haven't had an increase in 35 years of the Arizona's gas tax, and this, of course, is not a good time to ask for more money, and that was not to ask. It was, please preserve the funding that we do have, and when prices moderate, we do need to request an increase, but it will be incremental and nothing and one time, and it won't be like the electronic price billboards that seem to change every day. And then the following day, there was a local committee to end homelessness meeting, and I met on the 9th with Eric Swanson. He has a developer. He asked some properties, and he asked questions about planning and zoning, and shared what I could with them about my particular preferences and direction. And earlier that morning met with as well as our county manager with Mount Graham Regional Medical Center regarding their assistance in supporting the hospital district. They are in the process of, and they may have already had the meeting determining whether to expand the existing facility or build a whole new facility, and the $200 million price tag is nothing for big cities to, that's not a problem, but for our little county, that seems like an awful lot of money, and especially since it'll come from us. So we listen carefully, and we are a partner, and we do want to assist them as we're able to, and as we can legally do, because we can't just fewer and fewer opportunities to give money without having some kind of a tangible return, even with charitable organizations. Later that day, went out with the manager again, and we met at the fairgrounds. We're looking at the America 250 celebration, and the communities come together, the different municipalities, and so we are, Graham County is going to host the evening celebration, and we found a place where we'll have set up a stage that will have music, a live music before the fireworks, and then after, as well as concessions, and just seems like it'll be festival seating. So it just looks like if the weather will cooperate, we'll have a great evening with fireworks and entertainment. And there's all the other activities in the lower valley during the day. Just to wrap up, then along with the other board members, we phoned in to listen to the Legislative Policy Committee, and that is County Supervisors Association sponsors that, and we have 2 or 3 analysts and I guess they call them lobbyists, but what they do is then they're located just across from the Capitol, just across from the governor's office, and they go and propose bills, support bills that we propose, and then they oppose bills that will give the counties either unfunded liabilities, where the state legislature, we have no control over what they do, but we surely try to have control over who pays for it. And when things are tight, like they're going to be this year, the tendency is to say, well, we need this program, but we're going to ask our counties to pick it up. And they have a lot more revenue and ways of generating revenue than we do. So we as a group, we assist in opposing and making amendments and trying to make sure that our counties don't become just a catch-all for government programs from people who want to spend other people's money. The next week's Safford City Council meeting, and then on the 14th I met with a lady who's doing who utilized our assessor's office and was very complimentary about a study of historic homes that are 100 years old and trying to document those homes before they our urban renewal and Father Time takes those down. And so that was a great meeting. She's a researcher. She'll be publishing either an extensive article or a book, which will be great for our county. Met later that day with a constituent regarding a parcel that he had forgotten that he'd sold to the state and had been paying property taxes on, and we resolved that favorably. And that later that night went to the Historical Society meeting, and then traveled early the next day. We spent 2 days in like I talked about with the legislature. We met with each of our legislative representatives and a senator. All three of us did, and thank them for their work and asked them to make minor adjustments so that the counties were harmless in different legislation they're proposing. And I was glad to get home. And wrap it up, the last thing I did, my feet are still hurting. 5 o'clock on Friday evening, the Mount Graham Safe House had a walk a mile in her shoes, where they have you wear ladies' shoes. Fortunately, not just ladies' shoes, but ladies' heels. The largest pair they had, my two little toes were sticking out from the side, and I walked about 150 feet and said I couldn't take any more. I couldn't make the mile. And Michelle Wilson had just gotten off of work, and she's laughing. She said, why aren't you walking? I said, my feet are killing me, which I think is a lament of women, universal lament, who are wearing high heels. So, but that was a good to support that program and that awareness, and I. It was memorable. So anyways, that's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor David. Supervisor Howard?
I don't know how to follow up on that one. Anyway, I'll keep it real brief. I always attend I try to always attend the Gila Valley Irrigation District meetings every month to talk to our local farmers about their water issues, and we all know how important water is this year and the problems that they're going to have, not only our farmers or our ranchers. So yeah, it's very interesting to see how the wells are holding up, and they're not holding up, and it not only affects the farmers, but the citizens that are on wells. Their water tables are greatly dilapidated, so it's a big concern this year. Also, I met with Governor Hopeful Swikert and Gail Griffin on the 10th and went over things and his policies as running for governors. That was quite interesting, and traveled as well to Phoenix with us all. But I also want to just give a thanks to Steve for his service to the county and working with him, and wishing you all the best in the future. That'll be the end of my report.
Thank you, Supervisor Howard. Manager Welker had one more thing.
Sorry, I apologize, but thank you for giving me the mic again. And Brian Douglas asked me to announce one thing, and I almost failed to do it. Last year, we had our Graham County drive-through rabies clinic, and it was extremely busy and very successful. And so we're going to do that again on Saturday, May 16th. Rabies shots will be $20 cash per animal, and we're doing dogs, cats, horses, cows, sheeps, and goats. This is in partnership with Desert Cross Veterinary Clinic, and also with our animal control and health department, of course. We'll have 3 different locations on Saturday, May 16th, one at Fort Thomas High School from 7 a.m. to 8:30, and then progressively we'll move to the east of town. Then we'll be at the Pima Swimming Pool from 9 to 11:30, and then we'll finish at the Graham County Fairgrounds from 12:30 to 4. So we encourage anyone to come through, and we have already seen a benefit from this. We get about 4 dog bites a week, calls over to our health department that we have to investigate. And from this clinic, because we did this clinic and we have these records, on many of those, we've been able to pull up the record and see that, yep, we just actually vaccinated that dog. And that helps streamline that investigation and obviously gives us some good peace of mind too. So this clinic has been very valuable, and once again want to thank Desert Cross Veterinary for their partnership in this, and that will be on Saturday, May 16th.
Great, thank you, Manager. I don't have a lot to add. Just want to, Graham County was able to host our CSA meetings last week at the County Supervisors Association, and just want to point out that we had all 3 of our legislators there, which doesn't happen very often, but Griffin, Gowan, and Diaz are very supportive of our area, and it was amazing to have them there and to be able to share updates with us on what they're working on and the things that are going on. So just want to publicly thank them for being there. Also want to tell Steve McGoy that I'm excited that he's getting to retire, but I've known Steve McGoy since I was a little kid riding a bicycle. Steve served on the Safford Fire Department with my dad pretty much my whole life, I think. And just want to thank him for always being a good example. Sorry. He's always been a good role model. He hung out at our house when I was a kid, built race cars with my dad. Just a great person. Want to thank you for your service to our county and to me and my family. So appreciate you and all you've done.
Mr. Chairman, may I add that he's one of the pillars of search and rescue, and has worn out shoes, vehicles, and just about worn himself out on search and rescue.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. All right, so we're going to close our regular meeting and go into a public hearing, and we will turn the time over to Steve McGoy.
Wish you had been remiss. I too will probably get emotional. I've enjoyed here and I'm gonna miss you guys, but I will get over it. We're here for a road name application. This is a little bit, maybe a little bit different than normal because we have one applicant property owner that has 4 road names on their property, and we're doing this as one application. Now, if you guys have a problem with one of them or want to pull one out and do it separately, we can, but as it was presented, it's one vote for all 4, and you can go some other way on that if you want, but we're south off of Bombs Away, and I can't read my own map, but because I forgot to bring glasses.
Right.
But Flies Away goes south to, and I can't say this right, Orale Way. You have to. Why don't we let Carrie come present this? Tell us what you're wanting to do.
I did bring you maps so that you could see what the proposed tentative design layout is of the property, make it a little bit easier.
Thank you so much.
For the record, we've heard nothing from the general public, and this really doesn't involve anybody but the swaps, so I'll let them present what they want to do.
So we're proposing 4 different roadways. As you can see, moving south off of Bombs Away, we're proposing Fliza Way as it moves south. And then the next street, as you can see on the map, we're looking for Odele Way. And then we have Vominos Way moving back again to the south, and Este Way moving back over to the east and west.
So is this the new town of swaps?
We're looking at building 4 homes on these different sites. So we've partitioned it. We've split it 5 times, but we're looking at 4 different homes. And one, just the way that the roadway needed to turn, it ended up changing different directions. So we needed to come in with 4 different street names. So
I'm just curious about the names on the house. Is that the houses?
Yes,
we named the houses too.
Okay.
Yeah, so
And this is,
keep them straight in our mind.
and Hacienda de la Mula Muerte.
Mula Muerte.
Is that dead house of the dead mule?
Yes. And Sam Daly may have buried a horse or a mule there at some point.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, it looks like you've done a very good job of planning this out. It looks like it's going to be neat, very well planned out, so appreciate that very much. I have no issue with this at all.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, and fanciful, I like that, and as long as our 911 dispatchers and our responders, hopefully you won't have first responders, but as long as they can spell that out and get it onto the Google Maps and things, that's fine. It's your property. If you want to name it, have fun and fanciful names. That's your right, and we respect that.
All right. Do we have any other questions?
No.
Motion? Oh, second. I do need to ask if there's anybody else here to speak on this. No? Okay. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion. I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you to the swaps. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, guys, and I've enjoyed working with you.
Appreciate it. All right. Do we have anybody for the call to the public? Okay. That'll be the end of our meeting. We'll be adjourned. Thank you all for coming today.